Hey there, this is Malorian, and this is going to be a Warhammer Battle Report, and it's at 3,500 points, so it's a good size, and it's going to be my Dwarves up against some Lizardmen we're looking at here. So it's going to be Blood and Glory, and what he has over here is some chameleons here hiding behind a building, some skinks, 3 salamanders, even though they look like Razordon. Then here in the center, he has a big, huge horde of his Saurus. In there, he has his Scarvet BSB. He also has the Chikax model that's also another Scarvet. In the back, he has a Skrox unit with the Slan, who knows every Lore Master High Magic. Big unit of the Temple Guard, then an Ancient Stegodon. Over here, another Ancient Stegodon. More skinks, and then a good-sized unit of 10 Cold One Riders, and there's actually a Old Blood there riding with them. Over here for myself, I have 10 Quarrelers, then a whole bunch of great weapons that are inside the building, and in there is my Dwarf Lord. He's set up to have a great weapon, toughness 7, 6 wounds. He's pretty cool. Also have a Runesmith in there, 10 more Quarrelers, got my 20 Hammerers, and they have the banner that gives me +2 to dispel and all that good stuff. Grudge Thor cannon, and then I have a big size unit here of 20 Thunderers, another cannon, 2 organ guns, a flame cannon, a gyrocopter, and then finally on this side I have my 40 warriors with shields, and in here I have my BSB who has a breath weapon and great weapon and cool stuff like that, and also another Rune Priest, and this one here also has, well, both of them are set up with the Rune of Spell Breaking, but this one also has a Rune of Furnace just to make them different. And then finally 10 more Quarrelers. So, like I said, it's Blood and Glory, so you get to be 50 and up, have to be 9 away from the sides, and you know what, 3,500, you're looking at a breakpoint at 4, so you got to kind of watch that. I have a few more banners than he does, but then again, some of his stuff is pretty hard to kill. Say like the Slan and stuff, who is actually out of the Temple Guard just because he was saying every single time he has that Slan in those Temple Guard, he always miscasts and they explode, and so screw that, he's going back there with the Skrox unit. So really looking at this, I'm going to be going for this scenario. I think for sure I can deal with the banner on the right, killing the Old Blood. My miners coming in will threaten his Slan and his Skrox unit, and even if I can't kill the Slan, I can just leave 2 more banners. So if I can probably destroy the Temple Guard or go for the other unit of Saurus and get one of those, then I can pull this off. After I deployed, I kind of realized that my center is a little bit weak, but we do have some magical terrain. That very center statue is a sinister statue. The building on the left is actually a Acropolis of Heroes, and everything else is just buildings and forests and all that good stuff. Yeah, and I'm going to be really interested to see what my war machines do. I put no runes on them whatsoever. Looking at it, I think it's better off just taking more war machines than taking more runes. And should be interesting. My first time here at the new Dwarves. So he gets first turn. He rushes up there with his chameleons, shooting at the flame cannon. He only does 1 wound, so that's good for me. And otherwise, stuff is just moving up. His magic phase isn't really that impressive. I use one of my runes to stop Tempest, and really, even though I wasn't scared of Tempest, you know, one of the things you got to watch out with these Lizardmen is that they'll cast a spell they don't need to trade it for something from death or something like that. So you can't let these things go through if at all possible. But otherwise, you know, even though these chameleons are in my way, this is actually going to be a good thing because I can charge the chameleons, send it back towards his lines, then they'll rally and block him up. So whereas I didn't have a lot of stuff in the middle, he's going to bog himself up and kind of help me there. So that's what I do. I declare a charge on the chameleons. They get away. No big deal. The gyrocopter flies over to the left and sprays onto those skinks. I also shoot them with the Quarrelers. They take a test, but unfortunately for me, they don't run away. My other shots, you know, I shoot a flame cannon that gets a few of the Saurus, a bit of the skinks behind, but nothing too crazy. The main thing I really needed to do is because my warriors were in the building and they had to pop out, you know, I do not want to have to fight 2 Ancient Stegodons and the Old Blood and all those Cold One Riders. So I really need to kill one of those Stegodons. So I shot my stuff at them. My Grudge Thor hit it, rolled a 1 to wounds, of course, and unfortunately didn't get the job done. I even tried shooting over my organ guns because, hey, 30-inch range is pretty serious. But unfortunately, no, did not take down that, and now I could be in a lot of trouble over there. And, okay, stuff got bad really quick. So the first thing he did is he charges with his cold one riders there, right? And I say I'm going to hold with my great weapons. Then he charges me with the Stegodon, and I realize if I flee from them, I'll hop over the building, and he won't be able to get to me, and I can rally, and I'll be slowing him down. This is fantastic. I'm not taking the supercharge. I can counter them. Fantastic news. So I do that. He fails to be able to redirect with that Stegodon. Then the other Ancient Stegodon charges the Hammerers. I fail my terror test and run off the board. So not only do I lose that +2 to dispel, I lose that really powerful combat unit, and yeah, all of a sudden my right side here could be in a lot of trouble. So some bad luck there, but at least I slowed him down. By the way, for the Ancestral Grudge, my characters hate his characters. So when everything's said and done, it looks like this. The skinks on the left do 2 wounds to my gyrocopter, but that's okay. The sinister statue starts shooting the hell out of him, so that's where those chameleons died there. And, they rally, they're blocking him off. His salamanders, he rolled so many misfires. It was 2 misfires this time he rolled. Did a little bit of damage to me, so nothing too bad. Otherwise, yeah, you can see where all the stuff on the right moved up. And, yeah, it's not going too bad. I really wish those hammerers were there because they could do a countercharge or something, but hey, what are you going to do? So on my turn, the miners come in, and they're back here. I got 25 of these guys, and something that I was kind of noticing is when I made my list, I was like, oh yeah, I got to have that champ with the steam drill, but you don't really need that anymore. Now that, you're coming in on a 3+ rather than a 4+, it's already a better chance. Plus, since there's no anvil to make them charge, who cares, normally if they come in turn 2 or turn 3. So anyway, here they are. And after that's all done, it looks like this. So I put up the pressure with the warriors, knowing that he can't charge and wanting to be stubborn. And then I start shooting through those Saurus. And oh my, between the flame cannon and that gyrocopter being right there and the organ guns, I ripped that unit in half. So really, really lots of damage there. Otherwise, I put lots of shots into Temple Guard. They're also hurting. I've killed a lot of them now. And my cannon was able to kill one of the Ancient Stegodons. Good to see them gone. I rally with my warriors, and they're facing over to deal with those cold ones. And, it's not too bad. I really don't like that I have this Ancient Stegodon in the middle of my lines that I can't really deal with. But hey, that's the way it goes. So on his turn, he charges in with the Ancient Stegodon into the Quarrelers, and he also puts the Cold Ones into the other guys here. He's wanting to see how his Old Blood does against my Dwarf Lord, and I want to kind of see how that's going to go the other way. So this should be an interesting fight, but either way, I'm going to win this in the long run. I got the Steadfast, I got all the great weapons. This is going to be just fine for me. The Quarrelers, less so. They're going to die. Over here, bad picture, but basically what happens is that the Slan doesn't want to be back there to be charged by the miners. So the Slan comes over here while the Skinks turn around to look at my miners, and he miscasts, just like he feared, got the worst one, blew up his Temple Guard, and then got sucked into the warp. And I mean, right here, that means that his general's gone, so he has a banner for the Saurus, he has the BSB, the banner for the Skinks, the banner for the Temple Guard, and the banner for the Cold Ones. That means he's one banner away from losing, and these 3 guys look like an easy target. So in the fight here, I had the challenge between my Dwarf Lord and his Old Blood, and yeah, he's Strength 7, I'm Toughness 7, but he's hitting me on 4s, wounding on 4s, I got 6 wounds, he got 1 through there. And otherwise, I did nothing to him. A great weapon's nice, but when you got a guy with a 1+ save, it's also rerollable. Yeah, not too bad there. But, if nothing else, a lot of times you have the problem where these lords come in and they just rip you apart. And I guess the nice thing about a dwarf build like this is that he can shut them down. Interesting note, though, as well, I was talking to some people about this build. They kind of brought up the whole idea of what happens if I face Skaven and their bell does the big hit to everything that's toughness 7 or more. So that could be a worry, but it's pretty remote. Otherwise, it looks like this. So yeah, like you'd expect, my Quarlers got destroyed. The one guy gets away and he doesn't catch me. Otherwise, his salamanders are having a fun time shooting me up, and they kill a good number of warriors. Not too bad. The other Saurus, they just go and reform, and the other skinks go back to destroy the gyrocopter. So then on my turn, I charge in here with the miners. You know, the nice thing, especially too, now the dwarves get +1 strength for when they charge, that pretty much means that normally it won't come up that much, but especially for miners who are going to be getting the charge, they very often will get to be strength 6. So coming in here, of course, I'll want to dedicate enough to kill that Kroxigor and this Slaughter Skinks and win and break these guys and take the banner. But it doesn't really matter because, like I said, all I have to do is kill 3 of the Temple Guard. So, my organ guns are rolling awesome. They get like 10 and 4 shots each, and they just mow those guys down. And that's his breakpoint. But he didn't want to stop it there. We still want to see what would happen if we finish this combat. He tries again. No wounds to me, no wounds to him, and that's the game. So overall, it was pretty interesting. Would have been better if his slan wouldn't have exploded. I think even without that, I probably would have been in a pretty comfortable position because, like I said, I'm going to eventually win over here and beat these Saurus. I'm going to beat those skinks most likely over there, the Scrocs. So then all you'd have is the Saurus, his BSB, the General, and then the Temple Guard. But on the left side, I mean, those Saurus are already really hurting. I just have to go and break that one unit, and that'd be it. But, I mean, it could have been a much closer game. It's always too bad when it's ruined by, you know, a big detonation like that, just ripping apart and killing this land and his biggest unit. But, yeah, either way, Dwarves get the win, and thanks for watching. Bye.